Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to AEC Today Reports. We are so excited to be with you another weekend. Aren't you feeling grateful right about now as we lead into that Thanksgiving week? It just makes you stop and think about all the things that you have to be grateful for. I know I am. And one of the things I'm grateful for is to be able to come to you every Thursday at 7 p.m. We hope that you will share. If you're watching this live, please share this on your pages. Please share this YouTube link so that others can be blessed by what we're going to share this evening. We're really excited because we have an opportunity to meet two of our new leaders for two of our schools, Dupont Park School as well as our G.E. Peters School. And of course, I mentioned Thanksgiving, and we have Faye Gregory here to give us some tips about how we can still stay healthy during this Thanksgiving holiday. So you don't want to miss any of that. It's all coming up after the break. All right, everyone, welcome back to AEC Today Reports. We're happy to have our next guest with us. She has joined the Allegheny East Conference family during a pandemic. How exciting is that for her? But we're excited to speak to her, and we're going to bring her on at this time. We have Principal Jarren Jeffery from G.E. Peters. How are you doing, Jarren?
Hi, Latasha. I'm doing great. And thanks for having me on today.
Awesome. Our pleasure. So happy to be able to speak with you. Now, as I shared in introducing you, you recently joined our family during some unprecedented times. I heard someone say we can't use that word any other year after 2020, unprecedented. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Jarren. Who are you? As we're trying to get to know our new employee, the new leader of one of our schools. What do you like to do? What are some of your interests? Tell us about your family, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'll find a place to start. Let me start with the fact that I am a daughter of Allegheny East Conference. I'm from the South Jersey area, started at Ebenezer in Philly and grew up at Mount Olivet SDA in Camden, New Jersey. And just, some of the greatest times of my life and memories of being involved in church. And most people know that I have identical twin sister, Jerica Thurman. So we were known as the Thurman twins. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, she and I are sharing some of the same interests even today. She is on the national spectrum of supporting education, while I'm on the K-12 spectrum of supporting education. So still a lot of similarities. But I was blessed to meet my college sweetheart at Oakwood University, yay! Where also I met Miss Hewitt, and really proud of you and the work you're doing, representing our alma mater very well. But my college sweetheart, Ryan Jeffery, is from Maryland, grew up at the Emmanuel Brinklow SDA Church, and we have really grown together as educators because we both are in the field from K to 12. And the Lord has really blessed us as we see education as a ministry. And in the last 4 years, we were blessed with our son, little Ryan, who's now a pre-K student at Georgie Peters.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's a really, really fun experience to see him as well, learning in the admonition of the Lord. And we can see what Christian education is doing for him as it has done for us as younger people coming up in Seventh-day Adventist schools. If I will say something we enjoy doing as a family, is we just love nature. We love nature. Yeah, we like to, if it's the zoo, it's the botanical gardens,
Right.
hiking, even our favorite movies have animals in it. So anything with nature is what we love to do. And that's how we've been taking advantage of being home in quarantine, is just getting some fresh air out in nature. And, thankfully, we've all stayed healthy and also happy. And I praise God for being able to say that.
Awesome. That's great. Well, we're happy that you're back in this area. AEC always has its arms open for people to come back home, as we say. So we're glad you made your way back. Now, well, tell us a little bit about your journey, your path to GE Peters. What were you doing prior? I know you said you've been in the education field for several years. What were you doing prior to coming to GE Peters?
Well, Ms. Hewitt, you really captured that when you said coming back home, because that's exactly what happened in my experience leading up to GE Peters. I'm going to unpack what happened, but I'm going to start more with the end and then go towards the beginning. Okay. So I did get a little tap on the shoulder, and it was like God telling me it's time to leave the public school sector and come back home. And that was Allegheny East. And I knew for certain it was his voice. Wow. But prior to then, I started out as a elementary school teacher and actually in the Maryland area. And then I matriculated into school counseling. Okay. And I tell you, I love school counseling. I was an elementary school counselor for years, a lot longer than I was a teacher. Wow. And then I jumped into straight over to high school.
Wow.
Counseling. Yeah, it was a big leap. I think I love the younger children, but I was ready for a new challenge. Yes. And so it was, I believe God guides my steps and orders my assignments. So at that time, it was for me to go and be with the older youth. And that was a very, very rewarding experience. In fact, it was almost being able to allowing me to see the full spectrum, how they start out in pre-K and kindergarten, now how they now end up in 12th grade. And it was there that I entered at the high school level after doing high school counseling for 4 years. I went into administration. And my role there is in administration was with my first experience was with Fairfax County Public Schools in Virginia, and I was the director of student services. Okay. So I had the opportunity to work in second command to the high school principal to supervise the student services team, which comprised of the school counselors, and it was a lot of them. It was about 10 school social workers, psychologists, career center specialists, and then there were also all faculty and staff were also under my purview, but they were my immediate reports. And I have to say the duty there was very awesome for me. Our focus was really on the mental health and social, emotional well-being of students, and to be leading, not knowing that you are equipping students with skills that they now are having to lean on in the midst of COVID. Yeah, says a lot. It says a lot. When I talked about that's what I mean. My God, ordering, directing your steps. Yeah, and but then the Lord also told me, after being there for about 5 years, my work had come to an end, and it was time to come to GE Peters as the new principal for the 2021 school year. Yes. And so that's how I landed here, and I'm just feel very blessed. I'm humbled, and I feel very blessed.
Jarren, listening to you talk, you made me feel a little old just now because we were in college together, and you're talking about being 5 years in this and 5. I'm like, you've been out of college that long that she.
Yes, time goes by when you're having fun. So that's what it is. We're just having way too much fun in life, and it's just flying by. I think that's what's happening.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Okay, so here you are, ready to start this new journey that you are very confident that God is leading you with, and you're doing it during a pandemic. Now, what is that transition like for you? What was it like for you coming on board during a time when everybody's trying to figure out the new normal, another phrase we've been using a lot this year. What was that experience? How did you manage it?
Yes. Well, I'm always start positive.
Okay.
I'm always start positive. So
There we go.
I want to say that I'm very proud of the GE Peters community. They were well organized as we went into the second round of distance learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of committees were in play over the summer to fine tune the plans that had went into effect at the end of last school year.
Right.
And so I walked into a very organized structure where our school board and our school team was working very hard to strengthen what we had. We even started the year with some trainings, technology trainings for our parents, so they can be more acclimated to the technology platforms that the school will be using through instruction. And even our school teachers got some training on some of the new platforms that we wanted to integrate for the new year. So with that, I'm very proud of those strides. But as you can imagine, I am a new principal walking into an empty building. And I'm like, where are the people? Where are the teachers? Where are the students?
Right.
And it has been a very, very unique experience getting to really wrap myself into the family atmosphere that this school offers online. And I just have I have the best teacher team ever. I'm just going to have to tell you that. And I'm telling you, these teachers are so hardworking, and we're everywhere. They're committed. We're, I know people could say zoomed out. I'm zoomed out, but they're on Zoom trying to figure out what it takes to keep this boat afloat, and it's working. They're bringing so much passion to the work, which I'm inspired by continuously. So I can say I feel like I've known my teachers for years already. I mean, it's been that kind of connection. But there are some challenges for our students. This is different. They're not getting to see their teachers, and the teachers aren't getting to see the students. I am like that too. I'm that person who likes to be in proximity, and give a high five or hug. So it does feel a bit different, but we're doing all we can to make up for it through the online platform. And we are even monitoring students' progress. One thing that I want our team to be very focused on is ensuring academic progress, even through digital learning. And so we're monitoring the progress data to see where are the needs, and we're creating solutions so that we can support students more individually, so that they can get the support they need. We did recently do an honor awards ceremony, and most of the students were acknowledged because they're working hard and achieving well. And so that was a great indicator that, things are going better than we can expect. But it is the social emotional aspect of this that we're looking to navigate and be intentional about, both for our staff and our students, so that we can maintain what school is really all about, and that is that close, knit family experience. Right. And so, so we're still honoring those details. We are.
Great, though. I'm glad to hear that you guys are focused in on, your students' development, making sure they're hitting all of those markers, because that's the biggest fear a lot of parents have right now with their children being online in school. Will they still be where they're supposed to be at this grade level, or is their learning somehow slacking? But you guys have prioritized that to make sure that every student stays on target. So that's encouraging to hear. All right.
Yes, Ms. Hewitt, I just wanted to give you a tidbit on that, and why I'm so glad that you reinforced that point. I think that our schools, our Allegheny schools, or GE Peters, through the offerings of daily instruction, it provides the continuity where there are a lot of public schools are only allowing their students to interface twice or no more than 3 times a week. So between that and then our class sizes are manageable, where the teachers are able to keep a good pulse on students' progress, I think is very beneficial. So coming from the public sector, in COVID and seeing it now at GE Peters and seeing the difference, I can be certain that these qualities are working for our good. So I just wanted to thank you for emphasizing that.
No, I'm glad. And I'm glad you mentioned that because, we have this tendency. Sometimes some of us feel like public school may be better. There may be more resources, but you come from the public school system and you see now the difference, and particularly in this COVID setting, of how learning is better in some ways in our schools. So that's good to hear. It's encouraging to know. Now, you talked about that being one of your priorities, making sure our students are where they need to be. What were some of your other priorities and goals as a leader coming into GE Peters? Where do you want to see the school go, and where do you want those growth points to be?
Absolutely. So I'm going to speak now for virtual learning.
Okay.
Because like we said, it is. I have to say, if we were in the building, I mean, there are some similarities still, but with virtual learning being in play, that has definitely taken its priority. And so the number one thing we want to focus on is maintaining connectedness through digital learning. We want our students to experience a similar experience they would have had if they were in the building. So, finding the opportunities for them to showcase their talents. And we're intentional about our weekly chapels where we're, providing opportunities for students to sing and speak, and just all of those, holding their God-given talents in that regard. Also, we're still running the Spirit Weeks, and the school. I'm thinking of the school prayer weeks, week of prayer weeks, week of prayer weeks, and this again is building that school atmosphere that we want, so that students feel connected. So that's most important to me now. Teachers making themselves available to students and their parents, because we're thankful to have dedicated parents involved here, and so they're also navigating the new way of learning, and so making ourselves available as much as we can so we can build our partnerships. And so that leads me to my next thing, really strengthening the home and school ties. At our school, we are very fortunate to have a resourceful community, if you will. We just had a movie night on a drive-in movie night.
Nice.
And successfully, thank you, God, we successfully pulled that off, following all the CDC regulations. Everybody stayed safe. Everything was cashless. Everything was online, and the parents and the kids loved it. But I mention it because, in light of the climate, I needed a police officer there, keep everyone safe. And we were able to find a police officer who wasn't already down in DC monitoring the protests, who came right at a heartbeat, come down and, monitor things. And he really brought a sense of safety and security. And that was someone right in our own community.
Wow.
And so that's the piece I just really love about our community. Whatever resources we have, it's right at our fingertips, and just finding ways to strengthen that so that we can leverage all that's needed in the best interest of our students. Absolutely. So I have to say those are the two focuses. There's more, there's definitely more, but if I have to narrow it to the top two, especially in the midst of virtual learning, that's what that would be.
I have to say, coming into this new role, if you can manage this year virtual learning, this should give you the confidence that you can do anything with this school going forward. So you're getting all that heavy duty stuff out of the way early with GE Peters, and it's going to see smooth sailing once we get back in that building. Now, I want to say, we talk about GE Peters. I know GE Peters, of course, GE Peters, but there are people who are watching who may not even know where GE Peters is located. Can you share that? Where is the school that we're talking about?
Yeah. So GE Peters is located at 6303 Riggs Road in Hyatt. Hyattsville. It's very accessible. It's off the main roads, 95, BWI Parkway. So we have students who come from all different directions, and all are welcome to come to GE Peters. It's in Hyattsville, 6303 Riggs Road in Hyattsville, Maryland. And so we're still open. We're still opening and accepting students.
Okay.
And even for the second semester. And people have gotten a good whiff of the things that we've been doing to keep this live, thriving and live for our kids. And we've already had some people come knocking on the door.
Okay.
So we welcome everyone to consider this as a not only as a academic enriching experience, which it is, but in the days and times that we're living in, our students need to be girded by the spiritual foundations that will guide them in this dark time.
Amen.
And that's what GE Peters bring. It also brings a cultural uplifting that our students of color need in the midst of all that we're seeing with Black Lives Matter. They come to GE Peters and they get the opposite. They're uplifted, they're fed, they're enriched, they're taught to be proud of their culture. And so I think those two things alone makes it even more urgent as to why our students and our parents want to commit to Christian education at GE Peters.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm a parent in the Maryland area, and I'm ready to enroll my children. How do I do it? Where do I go?
Okay, so I want to invite you to follow us at Twitter or in Instagram. You can find us at GE Peters. And then at Facebook and YouTube, we have a channel, YouTube, GE Peters, George E. Peters. And you'll there on the YouTube, we've been capturing all of our chapels and our students' talent. You can see what's going on from week to week right there. And then visit us on our website at www.gepeters.org. That's GEPETERS.org. We want to invite you to go and visit us. You can get our contact information, and start your enrollment process right online. And let me tell you also, Ms. Hewitt, we are open beyond the Maryland DMV area now that we're on virtual learning now. So I just want you to know we're opening our arms very wide here, and we welcome all of our parents and our students to be a part of this I would call a very warm, welcoming family. So yes.
Awesome. Well, great. Listeners, you've heard it here. This is a great school where God is prioritized. Your students' learning is prioritized. So if you think GE Peters is a school for you, you know where to go, www.gepeters.org. And I'm sure someone will get back to you and make sure that you can enroll your child as quickly as possible. So Principal Jeffery, we just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us. We love what we're seeing with the school, and we pray that God will continue to bless you and everything that he's putting you to pour into the school. We thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Ms. Hewitt. I praise God for being able to have this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you. It's great getting to know you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back after this short break.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
All right, everyone, welcome back to AEC Today Reports. We're happy that you stayed with us, and we just met one of our principals from the GE Peters School, and now we're about to meet another new principal that joined us this school year. I would like to bring her on at this time. This is Miss Wayna Gray. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. We thank you for taking the time to allow us to get to know you and learn a little bit more about you and your leadership at Dupont. So let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about who you are. What do you like to do? Tell us about your family, your interests, all the fun stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm Wayna Gray, and I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I went from there, just to give you a little history, I went from there to Oakwood College.
Yay.
And I studied education, but my intention was to go straight for my master's. And then the Columbus Public Schools came down to interview. And so I just said, I'm just going to interview because I've never interviewed for a real job. And so I just said I'd interview, and they were like, if you join us, we'll pay for your master's.
Ooh, enticing.
Right. So I ended up going to the Columbus Public Schools to teach for several years. And I went there, was there several years, and I was the principal in California, Reading. Oh. And then I came here in July.
Awesome. Great. So what are some of the things that you like to do? What are your interests besides, education, obviously? Some things you like to do in spare time?
I enjoy painting. I like abstract painting. I enjoy trying new things that challenge me, and I've learned that they help me to learn about myself. For instance, I went spelunking,
Really?
I realized there was a part where it was called the birth canal. And I realized I'm okay with tight places. And then I went on a submarine, and I realized I don't do water well. I just sink very easily. So I like traveling to different places. I've been to several islands, to England, Brussels. I like reading, and I like trying to take care of my body, being healthy, and trying to exercise on a regular basis.
Awesome. We definitely promote that. And yes, we have a fitness expert who's going to be talking to us about how to be healthy during Thanksgiving. But anyway.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's great. It seems like you're pretty adventurous, and I'm sure starting a school year during a pandemic where everything is digital learning is another adventure that you may not have anticipated. But what was it like just coming into this new role with this new platform? I know even though we started last year, or we ended last year this way, coming into a whole new school year on this digital platform, what was that like for you?
I'll be honest, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
However, because I ended virtually, it gave me the ability to have some things in order mentally so that we could start well. And one thing that this has required is creativity. Yes. And getting out of your comfort zone and trying to find ways to reach the scholars when you can't reach them, you can't put your hands on them, being able to connect with them and keeping things interactive. So that's been a challenge. And it's also been a blessing, because being able to see them enjoy the interaction in a different way has been really great.
Yeah. So how do you get to know people? When you're first coming to a new community and you're getting to know faculty and staff and students, even there's a lot that goes into that one-on-one interaction, the body language. Now everyone is just in a box on a screen. Has that made getting to know everyone difficult, or is it you just found creative ways to make that happen?
It's a little bit more challenging. But talking on the phone definitely helps. And I know with my board members, I was like, I feel disconnected. Can I call each of you? Yeah. And it was amazing calling them and talking with them and learning their stories and hearing the things that they enjoy. I really felt connected. And my students call me, and of course, every day I'm online with our teachers. And so it really kind of transitioned to the telephone and of course the Zoom, and connecting when we can, even if it's at a park or if it's at a parking lot, just being able to connect whenever we can.
Awesome. So now that we're kind of in full swing at this point in the school year, have you outlined some goals that you want for the school finishing out this school year and looking ahead? What are some of the things that are rising to the top in your mind?
Yes, one of the things that I'm really focused on this year is connecting the community and the church and the school. I was talking with the assistant pastor today. I really want our scholars to be connected in the various programs that the church has. I would like. We're working with outreach. We're trying to collect money to give for during Thanksgiving as they try to feed people. And we also have another thing in the works with children's ministry, where we're working together with the school and the church with young people leading out for a big program that we'll have next year. And so I was telling him I would like for the scholars to work with the women's department, for them to connect and maybe do some etiquette classes. Just having the scholars connect with different departments at the church, I think would be awesome. And making sure, another goal academically, because I am a principal, making sure that our scholars finish this year, not just so-so, but they finish well and that they're on par and at grade level. We're doing our best to make sure they're at or above grade level, and not just that this whole situation somehow doesn't cause them to lose traction.
Yeah, that's important. And we've been talking about that because, as I shared earlier, that's the parents' biggest fear right now with this virtual learning is that, are my children really getting a quality education? Are they really staying, abreast of what they should know at this stage of their education? So I'm happy to hear that our schools are being very intentional about making sure that, as we move them along, they're where they need to be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's key.
And that includes virtual field trips. I have one of the teachers, I think she's teaching maybe in a lesson on Asia. So she's going around to the various restaurants doing her type of field trip. And then we have virtual field trips with NASA where we just learned all about space. So just trying to find ways around the norm, make it interesting and still very exciting. It's a challenge for sure.
Yeah, my hat goes off to you all. I mean, I have a certain level of creativity, but just have to keep that going every day. And, I have children, so I understand, sometimes they get bored with certain things. So they got to mix up again so that they're energized again. So I can only imagine the challenge that you all have as leaders and even the teachers is trying to keep things exciting. When you're just looking at a screen, but I think you guys are doing an excellent job with that.
I have the utmost respect for my teachers. They are working extremely hard day to day to keep it interesting.
Now, I always like to say, I know where Dupont is, where Dupont is, but some people watching this may say, where is this Dupont school? Tell everybody where Dupont Park Adventist School is located.
Well, Dupont Park, first I'll say it's the only Adventist school in our nation's capital.
That's right.
And we're at 3942 Alabama Avenue, Washington, D.C., 20020. And we are open, we're virtual, we're open for new students. And we are just excited to invite families into what we're doing, because what we're doing is educating children for the day-to-day responsibilities in regards to health, in regards to how to treat people. We have a counselor on staff, and she works with the students regarding all types of things, what COVID is introducing to the students, how to deal with that, so many things. But most of all, we are preparing them for heaven, because that's our true goal.
That's why the motto is the school with the eternal advantage.
Absolutely.
You're giving them that edge.
And the advantage and eternal advantage.
Amen. That's right. I love it. So once again, if you're listening and you're in the DC area, and we know now really doesn't matter because we're virtual, and you want to be part of the Dupont Park family, you can reach out to Miss Gray. This is her email address, wgray@mydpas.org. And if you have interest in possibly enrolling your child, I'm pretty sure you would get back to them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're eager.
Love to have you.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for taking the time to let us get to know one of our new leaders. We want to officially welcome you to the Allegheny East Conference family. We look forward to the time when we could come together and see each other face to face and meet. And we're glad that God led you here to our school. And they don't know this, but Mrs. Gray came to our worship at the office, and she was able to bless us for several days. And she's a poet. I don't know if she claims that title, but she is a poet. She shared some original poetry with us, and it was just awesome. I love the way you think and process things. It's very deep. Yes. So such a blessing, and we're happy that you're part of our conference and that our children are under your leadership there in DC.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. And I love this area. I love the Dupont Park Church. Everyone has been so kind and inviting and encouraging. So it was definitely a God move.
Amen. We love it when it works out that way. And we hope you're still saying that a year from now. No, it's like you will say that. Okay. Thanks again for taking the time to speak with us.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone, we'll be right back after this break, and we're going to learn how we can stay healthy during Thanksgiving. And we know, Ms. Gray, you're already doing that, so we love the next segment. All right, we'll see you after the break.
Hey, chat. Why do I wear a mask? Because when I'm not behind the screen, my mask is my cheat code. And when we stop the spread, we level up. What's the next level? Hanging with friends again. You're right, masks have always been a part of our community. I miss you guys too. Being face to face is truly the next level. Here's the cheat code. Stop the spread of corona. Mask up, America.
All right, everyone, welcome back to AC Today Reports. Of course, we know Thanksgiving is coming up next week, and we are all very excited about what that means in terms of bringing us together with our families. But, even in Thanksgiving, we still must do our part in remaining healthy. That's right. And so we are inviting someone that we can rely on to give us great advice and tips about being healthy, even during the Thanksgiving season. We have Faye Gregory back with us. How are you doing today, Faye?
Wonderful, Latasha and viewers. It's great to be back with you all.
Yes, we're excited. We think we're excited because, Thanksgiving tends to be one of those cheat days or weekends, because we like to extend it for so many. But we're trying to be good this year. And so we are going to open up our minds and listen to what you have to share with us. Faye, how can we enjoy our Thanksgiving holiday and still be healthy at the same time? Give us some tips so that we don't go completely wild.
Absolutely, Latasha, because I definitely don't want our viewers eating themselves into a food coma.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I trust that everyone is paying attention to new state guidelines with the spike in COVID cases and are taking the recommended but necessary precautions. To combat this COVID virus pandemic, we need to have a plan in place.
Yes.
When we're fighting a war, you need a plan. Otherwise, you're fighting a losing battle and you're planning to fail. So we need ammunition and a good hearty breakfast on Thanksgiving Day, which is good for our immune defense system. Also, it takes away the tendency to overeat because it gives you the opportunity to practice moderation so you don't overeat. So I highly recommend that you start with breakfast Thanksgiving morning and then have a light lunch. As
Really?
Absolutely.
Most of us call ourselves fasting all day until it's time for that Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Oftentimes people fast all day and then they are starving, by dinner time, and they eat themselves into a food coma. Gluttony is a sin. As we know.
Okay. Yes. Call it out. Call it out.
Okay. Okay. Also, it takes away the tendency to overeat because it gives ourselves the opportunity to practice moderation so we don't overeat.
Okay.
As you know, a good diet and exercise is important for good health. We should not let a chilly autumn day deter us from getting some sunshine and fresh air on Thanksgiving Day and the days following. You know, it's so beautiful. And remember, it's so important for us to get our sunshine, the seasonal affective disorder.
That's
So we
right.
don't want to be experiencing those symptoms as well as overeating during the Thanksgiving holiday.
Combo.
Staying in the house all day with recycled stale air can be very injurious to our health. Part of our plan should be to get some sunshine and fresh air to go along with our hearty meal.
That's right.
Okay. The activities that I would suggest are
Okay.
walking, put on some music with your family, and let's get some jazzercise in there.
Okay. I like that.
Have some gospel aerobic music, and let's do some auctioning cocktails, get the blood circulating, but don't sit down. You can go
That's the hard
outside,
part.
toss the ball around, toss that football around, play bocce ball, ride your bikes, have the kids put on their skates, pick up the rake and rake some leaves. I mean, there's so many fun outdoor activities that we can do during this time and over the course of the weekend
It's true.
to keep the bodies moving, keep that food moving. Another important fact that I'd like to share is let's make sure when we're preparing our plates that you make your vegetables the larger quantity on your plate. Your meat portion, if you're still eating meat, I'm vegan, but that's okay. You're still eating meat. I know it's Thanksgiving, so most of you will be having turkey or either loaf, the vegetarian loaf. But just make sure that's just about the size, the palm of your hand, not too large.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't be your vegetarian loaf should not be covering half of your plate. Okay. Your vegetables should be covering half of your plate, whether it be your collard greens, your lima beans, green beans,
Okay.
sprouts,
Making me hungry now.
broccoli rabe, kale, spinach, cabbage.
Okay.
All right.
Sounding good.
The macaroni and cheese, limited. Little, let's go light on the carbs.
Okay. A little bit of yams, sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we can have all those things just in moderation.
In
Make sure
moderation.
vegetables
Absolutely.
are taking up the majority of our plate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We have to remember that. And then what about seconds? What's the rule about going back for seconds and thirds?
Going backwards for seconds. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Latasha, if you have your breakfast in the morning and a light lunch, you may not want to go back for seconds, but being that it's Thanksgiving and it's traditional that we go back for those seconds, make sure they're more vegetables. Let's go back for seconds on the vegetables and not on the meat portions. Limit. Don't fill the whole plate up with second portions of food. Save something for the next day. You don't have to eat it on Thanksgiving night.
That's so true. That's so true. And there's so many like wonderful desserts that come after, so you don't want to fill up everything with Okay, great. All right, so this is good.
For your dessert.
This is good. So I've learned that instead of just waiting until the Thanksgiving meal thinking we're emptying our stomachs, it's better to actually have breakfast and a light lunch so that you won't feel so inclined to stuff yourself during the Thanksgiving meal. And then that evening or whenever, people eat at different times, make sure you're getting up and walking, getting some fresh air. We know it gets darker earlier, but you can still walk in your house, go out.
Exactly.
Don't let the food just sit there in your stomach and you just rock back and forth and
go into that food coma.
Yeah, exactly. We know it so well. We take a little nap.
You don't want that.
Okay. All right. So great. That's some great tips we can plan for, because you mentioned it's important to plan ahead of time. So
exactly.
This is giving everyone a week to get their Thanksgiving plan together. So that
Exactly.
you have nothing to regret the day after or the weekend after. So it's great. Great tips. Thank you, Faye. We
You're
appreciate you.
very welcome. My absolute pleasure.
All right. And I won't forget, more vegetables on my plate than my veggie loaf or my mac and cheese or my
That's
yams
right.
or whatever
Yes.
other trimmings I have. Okay.
Yes.
We got it.
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
I think we're ready for Thanksgiving now. Appreciate
All right.
All right. As always, thank you, Faye. We appreciate all your tips so much.
You're
And
very welcome. My absolute humble pleasure.
we hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family.
Thank you. And I wish you, Latasha, a very happy and safe Thanksgiving, as well as the viewers. Remember to wash your portions and stay active during the Thanksgiving holiday. Don't just sit and, with all that food on your tummy. Move. Your bodies were designed to move.
Ooh.
Exercise is not an option. We need to move our bodies. Keep
Yes.
everything circulating right. Yeah,
That's
and keep
right. You don't get a
everything healthy.
pass on holidays. That's right.
No, you do not.
All right. Thank
Another option, Latasha,
you.
put on one of our videos, one of my exercise
There you
videos.
go.
That would be a fun
Faye.
activity.
Right on our website, visit AEC.org.
Yes, yes.
And get moving with us.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Great tip. Great tip. Thanks for reminding
You're
us.
very welcome. Absolutely.
All right, Faye. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, viewers, we'll be right back after another quick break. Awesome. All right, everyone, that wraps up tonight's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning a little more about our principals that joined our family during pandemic of all things. And we hope that you follow those tips that Faye shared with us about staying healthy during the Thanksgiving holiday. Of course, we will not be with you next Thursday as we want you to enjoy that time with your family. But we hope that you are taking the time to be thankful. We know so much is going on in our world right now, and so many of us have different circumstances that try to cloud joy that the Lord wants us to have. But in all things, give thanks. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. There's nothing that can stop that. No circumstance, no situation that can change the fact that God is good. And we have so much to be thankful for because we're tied right into Him, right? All right. So we hope that you're going to enjoy your holiday. We'll miss you next week, but we'll be back the following Thursday. After all, the more you watch, the more you know. So we look forward to sharing with you again in a couple of weeks. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And please don't forget to be safe. Take care.